Welcome to another food adventure with Getting Lost. Today, what we're doing is we are going to explore this place here, Amoy Street Food Centre, to find out at this food centre which stall serves the best fish soup, seafood soup at this food centre. Because there's just so many stalls that sells this dish. Which one is better? To find out, join me after the intro. Welcome back. This is Amoy Street Food Centre, and when I was here doing my food adventure here, a question came to my mind. I looked around these stores here. This place here have lots of delicious good food, hawker food, street food, and one thing I noticed is that there are lots of stores selling fish soup, seafood soup at this particular one food centre. So it got me wondering. It gave me a question. So I wondered, which stall actually sells the best fish soup or seafood soup at this food centre? Yes, isn't this a very interesting question? I definitely think so, and I want to find out. So I've created this video to do a test, to do an experiment, to find out which stall here actually sells the best fish soup, seafood soup at this food centre. And alternatively, if the store is closed, what would be the next best option, the next best solution, the next best choice? So if you're interested to find out the answer, this answer to my burning question, then stay tuned, watch this video, and you will find out the answer. Before we continue, I just need to say one thing. First of all the fish soup that we tried at this food centre are actually good. Quality of the soup is very good compared to those aircon food courts that you have out there that serves soup. This place here, surprisingly, all the shops do a much better job than those places. So don't get me wrong that just because they are not the best at this food centre doesn't mean that the fish soup here is not good. So let's get to it. The first stall we're going to is this stall called Rong. Rong actually does sell a good bowl of seafood, of soup, and this is the bowl. So what you get is, if I'm not mistaken, they actually have some kind of like dried fish or dried fish bones or some kind of fish or seafood that they actually use to flavor the stock or this soup here. So the soup here has a very nice taste, and the fish slice is also nice and chewy and has a nice bite texture. And this dish here, I ordered their double fish soup, which cost me $5. Their fried fish also fried well seasoned. Only issue I have with this soup dish is the topping you see there, the item they actually put on top of the soup to actually give it extra flavor. Inside that, there are some ingredients that are a bit fibrous. So when you drink this, it has to be eaten together with rice. If not, right, it somehow like irritates your throat. But other than that, they actually make a very good, very delicious fish soup. Very flavorful, very yummy, very nice. I quite enjoyed it. At the first floor of this food centre, Amoy Street Food Centre, on the first floor, there are a few stores here. We're going to explore the stores at the first floor first, then go up to the second floor. And also on the first floor, there's another store called Ahai Fish Porridge and Seafood Soup. And this store also sells seafood soup. And it also cost me $5, but this one is only for their sliced fish soup. Here, I don't think they sell their fried fish. But the soup has a very similar flavor to the Rong and Ahai. The soup base has a very similar flavor, so I suspect they actually use the same kind of fish or dried fish or seafood to actually flavor the soup. But here, the soup flavor is slightly better, and they also give you lots of lettuce. So you have a nice light flavorful soup with fish, and because the fish here is kept refrigerated, so when they cook it, it has a slightly better bite texture as compared to roe. And they also give you lots of vegetables and lots of pieces of fish, and the fish here is nice and fresh, and also portion size also more than roe. So if I were to compare, I would actually prefer to drink at Ahai instead of roe, because of the portion size and the freshness of the fish and the bite texture of the fish, which I enjoyed more than roe. So if you're on the first floor, you're lazy to climb up to the second floor, the best fish soup on the first floor is actually Ahai. So we have found out the best fish soup on the first floor, especially if you do not like to climb upstairs. But what about the second floor? There are even lots more soup stores here. So we need to also explore the second floor. And at the second floor, the first row at the end there's another shop that also sells fish soup. So the name of the store is Maxwell Fish Soup, and it's named after Maxwell Road. I would assume so. And the store also sells fish soup. And here it is. One thing I really like about this stall is the price. For their fish soup, they cost me $4.60 for their sliced fish soup, which is cheaper than Ahai at the first floor. The soup here feels a bit thicker than your normal fish soup. And here, as you can see, is actually they actually add milk to the fish soup to give it this color. As the one at the bottom there, they didn't add milk, so it's more clear and more clean flavored. Here has a nice, strong, flavorful fish soup, but with a ginger finish. They also give you lots of green leafy vegetables, a good amount of sliced fish, and the fish, somehow they cook it well and it still retains the fish flavor. So when you bite into it, you can actually taste the flavor of the fish. The soup here is a bit more salty, but you normally eat this with rice, so that's why it's okay to be a bit more salty. But comparing portion size, comparing the quality of the fish, I would prefer Ahai to this shop. So I'm afraid Ahai at the moment, still for my personal taste, I prefer. From this store, we're heading to the next store, which is just on the next row. And the name of the store is a very popular store at this food center called Mr. Barton Fish at 96. And here, during lunchtime, people queue up for this fish soup. And I also ordered from here their sliced fish soup, which cost me $4, which is a cheap price, very cheap price. And the soup here tastes similar to the one you have downstairs, but it has a slightly more deeper taste, a depth in the taste that you don't normally get from the stores downstairs. And they also give you lots of slices of fresh fish, and the fish here, the size of the fish is huge. So there is a reason why the store here at the second floor here is popular during lunchtime. People queue up because they give you good quality fish, they give you lots of it, and they give you at affordable price. I must say, I do enjoy the fish soup here, and compared to Ahai, I think this shop here, Mr. Barton Fish, does make a better fish soup than Ahai. So I'm afraid this at the moment is my favorite soup until we go to the next competition. So let's see what's the next soup. And so we're heading again to the next row to find our next contender. And our next contender is a heavy hitter, and the name of the shop is called Biagi Fish Porridge. Yes, this is actually a very popular fish or seafood soup stall at this food center, and many people queue up for this fish soup or seafood soup. Even on Saturday, this queue you see here is actually on Saturday, and people queue up even on Saturday, for their soup. What you order from here is one of the most expensive fish soups at this food centre. I ordered their fish and prawn soup, which cost me $10. So first of all, the slices of fish are cooked truly, but they still have a slight bite texture to it, which I enjoyed. It's nice, firm and fresh. Then another thing I like from here is their prawn, which is super fresh, super bouncy. When you bite into it, it has a very nice bouncy texture that I also really enjoyed. Then the soup here is super flavorful. You can tell that they cook the pork bones and the fish bones for a very long time to extract out all the flavor. It's savory, has a nice meaty taste with a slightly gingery aftertaste. And then they also put in pork lard oil into the soup, which gives it extra flavor. And even though it's very expensive, you can tell that the price you pay goes into the quality of the soup, and they give you a lot of soup, a lot of ingredients for the price that you pay for it. So comparing Mr. Barton and this store, taste wise, I must say this store wins, because here you give you a explosion of flavor that Mr. Barton cannot compete with. But price wise, this place is cheaper. But overall, I would prefer to eat Biagi for their explosion of flavor. And so, further down, nearby, next row, there's actually another store that also sells seafood soup, but with a slight twist. This one, they sell actually spinach soup, but it's a spinach seafood soup. So this store is called Spinach Soup, and they sell seafood soup with spinach inside. And I must say, first of all, pricing wise, $3.50 is a very cheap and very affordable price point for this dish, and not many shops at this food center can fight this price point. So I ordered from them their spinach seafood soup, which cost me $3.50, but here they don't actually have a sliced fish, so it's not really a fish soup here. It's actually more of a spinach seafood soup. So the soup has a very pleasant porky, eggy flavor, and they give you lots of soup. And the soup here, the taste wise, not very complex, but still flavorful. They also give you lots of spinach. The spinach is also not overcooked, so the spinach still has a nice fibrous bite to eat when you eat it. But here, the taste, for my personal opinion, has too much of a spinach taste, but because you're eating spinach soup, so you should have that taste in the soup. So it's a light flavored soup, but still very good, very nice, very cheap. But I'm afraid taste wise, this soup loses out to Biagi, even though Biagi is way more expensive than this store. Next up, we're heading to the row that has a shop that has the longest queue at this food center. The queue here is ridiculously long. Here, the queue, even before the shop starts, people are already queuing up to wait for the owner to take the order. This store here is that popular. The name of the store is called Han Ki, and it's a very popular store here. People around this area here all come out to this store to drink their fish soup. And I ordered from them their smallest portion, $5 fish soup, sliced fish soup. They only sell sliced fish soup. And first thing is, when you taste it, there's a very nice, strong, bold fish soup flavors in this soup. It's a deep, savory taste with a fried garlic and white pepper aftertaste. And surprisingly, they also give you lots of fish slices. The fish is still delicate with a satisfying bite texture to the fish. And when you bite the fish, when you taste the fish still has a bit of the fish flavor in the meat. And this also helps to give the fish soup an extra dimension as compared to other places. The soup here, the soup flavors complements everything. But how does this soup compare to Biagi? First of all, it's only half the price, but then you also don't have prawns. So taste wise here, also very good. But the only problem with this stall is the queue. The queue here is ridiculously long. The only way to eat this soup is to come early. You come here at 11 o'clock, queue up, you maybe wait 20 minutes, then you can get your bowl of soup. If not, the queue will be much longer, and the queue will be longer, and your waiting time is much longer. Taste wise, taking into consideration taste and price, I would prefer Hanki. And finally, we are heading to the last row of this food center on the second floor to go to our last fish soup shop at this food center. And the name of this shop is called Bai Men fish soup. So they sell Bai Men and also fish soup at this store. And I decided from this store to actually order their double fish soup again, which cost me $5. So the soup, they do it well. It's a good flavorful soup, slightly garlicky, slightly tart finish, but they do give you a generous amount of fish. The fish has a nice soft texture and it's still fresh, nice fresh taste. Then the fried fish, they actually serve it aside in a small bowl, and that's because if you put the soup, you put the fried fish into the soup, it gets soggy very fast. And these pieces of fried fish is also nice and thick and has a crispy outer layer. They do cook a very good bowl of soup, but unfortunately you are fighting against Hanki, which is one of the popular and one of the big dogs at this food center. So compared to Hanki, even though they give you good portion of sliced fish, the sliced fish at Hanki has a better texture to it, and also the soup tastes much better. So overall, Hanki would win in a fight between Hanki and this stall. And finally, we have our answers, the answers to our questions for this video. So I was wondering, which was the best fish soup in this food center? And the answer is obvious. It's Hanki with its long, ridiculously long queue, but still very delicious fish soup. And if Hanki is closed, what's the next best alternative? The next best option is actually Biagi, with its also very delicious fish soup, but expensive prices. And if these two places are not to your liking, is there a third alternative? Of course there is. And the third alternative is Mr. Barton Fish, which also makes a very good, very yummy bowl of fish soup with lots and lots of fish slices. So this has been the answers to our burning question at this food center about fish soup. And I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope you enjoyed our adventure here, our food adventure here, where we explored this food center and answered some very important questions. Questions that until now has not been answered. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And what we're going to do now is, well, you know what to do. The usual. the thing that you should normally always do is to like my video, share my video, and also to subscribe to my channel if you have not done it. And lastly, but the most important thing, the thing that you have to do, need to do, always have to do is to join me for my next food adventure. I will see you there. Bye bye.